Hi, before saying any other thing, let me explain you. I have been supporting FC Barcelona for almost 20 years and I'm one of the biggest Barcelona fans in the world in my heart. So don't be angry just to see the title of this video. So now let's jump onto the video. So is FC Barcelona the best team in the world currently? Absolutely not. Are we in top 2? No. Top 3? Still not. Top 4? I will still say no. Top 5? Probably yes, probably no. So which 4 teams I will put ahead of Barça? PSG, Arsenal, Bayern Munich, Manchester City. I will put those 4 teams ahead of Barcelona. If we talk about 5th team, Barça can be there, but still there are some teams I think which can beat Barcelona. There are chances Chelsea or Inter Milan can beat Barcelona in 2 legs. I know Chelsea is not in top 7 in Premier League. And Inter Milan couldn't even make round of 16 in UCL. But don't forget Chelsea beat us in Champions League group stage this season by 3-0. And after that they didn't even win next 6-7 matches. Same goes to Atletico Madrid. Beating Barça in Champions League quarter-final first leg at Camp Nou was the only victory of Atletico Madrid in 7 matches. Also Inter Milan eliminated us from the Champions League and they lost brutally 5-0 by PSG in final. There are some problems which we must have to fix before the starting of next season. So let's discuss about those problems of our team. First of all, lack of squad depth. Barcelona still rely on too much in the same starting 11, both in La Liga, also in Champions League. Also in Copa del Rey, we have to rely on our best starting 11. If 1 or 2 key players have been dropped from our squad, the team level drops massively. In modern football, it requires strong backup in every position. See the teams like PSG, Arsenal, Manchester City, Real Madrid, even Chelsea. They have massive squad depth in compare of us. In modern day football, you must have to rely on your bench players. Those who watch Champions League semi-final match between PSG and Bayern Munich, they remember. In the second leg, after 60 minutes, PSG boss Luis Enrique took out the best player of their team, Ousmane Dembele. He scored the goal, he pressed the opponents for whole 60 minutes and his job is done. And then he brought out players like Barcola, Beraldo, Lucas Hernandez, who are really mature, proven and reliable players. And you saw the result. For me, one of the big reasons Bayern couldn't come back against PSG at home because they didn't have quality players enough like PSG who will come out from the bench and can change the momentum. Last 30-35 minutes, the whole PSG sat back, defend and went for counter-attacks and bring the result on the tie. That is what quality players from bench can do for you. And this is why PSG are in UEFA Champions League final back-to-back 2 years in new format. PSG, Chelsea, Atletico Madrid are the 3 teams beat us in Champions League this season and all 3 of them have huge squad depth compared to us. Another big problem for Barça is lack of natural players in every position. After the departure of Inigo Martinez, we didn't have a left-footed centre-back. Gerard Martin, who is a natural left-back, he had to adopt himself as a left centre-back and he played brilliantly throughout the whole season. But that put a lot of pressure on Alex Balde, which is one of the main reasons his performance dropped so much. That is why we had to bring Joao Cancelo at mid-season. Also last season, Jules Koundé played as right-back almost every matches, who was not even a proper right-back. His natural position was centre-back. This season, he couldn't repeat his performance like last season. The whole season we finished without having natural and backup right back. So we don't have any natural right back in our team, no left-footed centre back in our team, and Joao Cancelo is leaving at the end of the season as he came on loan. Our another centre back Eric Garcia had to play as centre back, right back, defensive midfielder, even central midfielder too. If you see the big teams in Europe who are dominating currently, they almost have minimum 2 natural players in every position, whether we don't have none in some of the positions. Another big problem is heavy pressure on young players. Compared to other elite European clubs, Barça put far more responsibility on very young players in crucial matches. Barcelona often depend heavily on youngsters like Lamine Yamal, Pedri, Pau Cubarsí to decide big games consistently. Other top clubs in Europe can rotate young players more comfortably because they have the stronger squad depth and more experienced alternatives. Barcelona's because youngsters are incredibly talented, but carrying massive expectations every single week at such a younger age creates huge physical and mental pressure. Just look at the young exciting players like Leonard Carl, Warren Zaire-Emery, Estava Willian. How calmly, comfortably they can develop in their clubs with less pressure and more protection. And our Pau Cubarsí and Lamine Yamal had to take all the pressures in attack and defense matches after matches in last 2 seasons. Another problem of our team was financial crisis. In last 4 years, there were so much restrictions to buy or spend for players because of financial fair play rules. But now we are back in 1-to-1 rule, so financial problem will not be an issue anymore. So I am not going to discuss much about this. But this is one of the reasons in last few seasons we couldn't succeed. See the big teams in Europe, how much money they spent it. Teams like Arsenal, Liverpool, PSG, Manchester City, even Bayern Munich. Also Chelsea, how much money they spent in last 4-5 years and how much money we spent. Just because we are Barça, just because we have a coach like Hansi Flick, just because we have La Masia, we are still winning trophies. Otherwise, spending money is not enough. See the last few seasons of Manchester United, see this season's performance of Chelsea. Even Tottenham spent a lot of money than us. Still they had to battle relegation this season. Also, if you want to win big trophies like UEFA Champions League, if you want to dominate Europe again, the coach needs to have some plan B, C, D. You know how Atletico Madrid eliminated us from 2 different tournaments in the same season? Because Diego Simeone believes he just needed 1 or 2 clear-cut clinical chances to win against Barcelona. They scored 4 goals in the first leg of Copa del Rey semi-final against Barcelona in the first half. And the rest of the 3 halves of 2 legs, they just defended and they won. Also, Champions League quarter-final first leg, they created only 1 chance and they scored 2. And they won at Camp Nou by 2-0. I personally believe after scoring 2 goals at Atletico's home when the tie was 2-2 in UEFA Champions League quarter-final, we shouldn't leave the space behind that much for Atletico. We should have played more controlled game and changed the aggressive highline attacking mindset. And then Atletico couldn't score that goal which Lokman scored. Then we could play rest of the match calmly, pressurelessly, and we could have got better chances to win the match and go to the next round. But after Lokman's goal, the rest of the match we had to play under pressure. We needed to score goals, and at 75-6 minute our defender made a mistake and we got a red card. We never came back. Let's get back again. PSG versus Bayern Munich. First leg, how open that game was, ended up 5-4. In the second leg, after Dembele's goal, when PSG got 2 goals lead, the whole second half PSG have shown a defensive masterclass and won the tie and went into final. This was the plan B of Luis Enrique, and this is what you need to win big games in Champions League. Now Luis Enrique got all those signings whichever he needed from PSG board, whether we didn't have a proper starting 11. So we can never complain or question to our coach Hansi Flick rather than saying thank you for those 5 trophies in 2 years. I am eagerly waiting to get some great signings in the next season, and then hopefully we will see the real Hansi Flick domination in Champions League. What he performed with Bayern Munich in 2020-21 season won the Hexa for them. We are already a quality team. There are just some lackings in our team we need to fix, and then we'll back in top in Europe hopefully. Now I really hesitate to say we are top 5 teams in Europe whether we couldn't reach the Champions League semi-final. Leave your comment if you have any opinions. Thank you and vice versa.